Imagine waking up on a Tuesday morning. The world's still quiet, the air's still soft, and for a moment, it feels like you're standing between who you were yesterday and who you have the chance to become today. Before the noise begins, before the responsibilities call your name, there is this small, sacred space where your heart whispers for clarity, for strength, for peace. Maybe you didn't sleep well. Maybe your mind carried too much from the night before. Maybe you've been hoping for a sign that things will finally get better. And right here, in this gentle slice of morning, that sign begins with you choosing to breathe, choosing to pause, choosing to pray. Because the truth is, every new day holds a story waiting to be written, and prayer becomes the pen that guides your hand. It's not about perfection, it's about connection. It's about reminding yourself that you are not alone, not forgotten, not without direction. Today is not just another Tuesday, it's a fresh beginning, a quiet invitation from the universe asking you to rise with purpose, with courage, with faith. And when you start your morning anchored in prayer, you step into the day carrying a strength that cannot be shaken. Beginning. A new Tuesday with a soft, personal morning reflection means creating a moment that feels intimate and honest, almost like whispering your thoughts to someone who lives just across the hallway, someone who understands your highs, lows, doubts, and dreams. It's the kind of reflection that doesn't require fancy words or a perfect mindset. Instead, it invites you to show up exactly as you are. Imagine waking up before the noise of the world begins and allowing yourself to stay in that fragile space between sleep and full awareness. In that space, you get to meet your true self without expectations. The quiet of the morning feels like a gentle hand placed on your shoulder, reminding you that you are safe, that you have time, and that you can start your day at your own pace. When you begin Tuesday with this kind of reflection, you create a connection. Not just with your goals or responsibilities, but with your inner world. You take a moment to ask yourself how you feel rather than how you should feel. You notice the temperature of the room, the softness of your breath, the weight of your thoughts. You let yourself be human, imperfect, and alive. There is something powerful about allowing vulnerability to sit beside strength first thing in the morning. It reminds you that you don't have to wake up strong to become strong. You just have to wake up honest. This kind of reflection also helps you see the invisible parts of your life that often go unnoticed. You remember the things you've forgotten to appreciate, like the comfort of a familiar routine or the quiet courage that kept you going yesterday. Even small things carry meaning in the early hours. The light slipping through your window becomes a message telling you that the world is still here, still moving, still offering you another chance. The soft sounds of your surroundings feel like reminders that you are part of something bigger, something gentle and always unfolding. When you take time to reflect, these small details transform into anchors that help steady your heart before the day begins. It's also a moment where you can release whatever heaviness you've been holding. Maybe yesterday was exhausting. Or maybe last night your mind wouldn't rest. Morning reflection allows you to name those feelings without judgment. You don't push them away or pretend they don't exist. You simply acknowledge them, as if you are confiding in a trusted friend who will listen without interrupting. This honesty makes space for healing and clarity. It frees your mind from the weight of unspoken emotions and prepares your heart to receive the peace that prayer can bring. The beauty of starting Tuesday with this gentle reflection is that it creates a natural bridge to your spiritual practice. When your heart is quiet and your mind is clear, prayer doesn't feel like a ritual or obligation. It feels like a continuation of the conversation you've already started within yourself. The softness of your morning thoughts becomes the doorway that leads you into prayer with openness and sincerity. It makes the moment feel personal, grounded, and meaningful. You're not just reciting words, you're sharing your truth with the one who already understands it. This connection becomes even more powerful when you think of it in the context of someone who lives a simple yet emotionally rich life. Like the girl next door whose strength comes from her sincerity rather than perfection. She doesn't pretend to have everything figured out, but she shows up every morning willing to try again. Starting your Tuesday with reflection gives you that same kind of humble courage. It teaches you that even ordinary mornings can carry extraordinary potential. It shows you that wisdom isn't always found in dramatic moments. Sometimes it grows through quiet honesty, small pauses, and heartfelt beginnings. As you reflect on your feelings and experiences at the start of the day, you're also giving yourself permission to move at a pace that feels right for you. Instead of rushing into your tasks, you allow your spirit to guide you gently. You let your breathing set the rhythm for your day. You remind yourself that you're more than your schedule, more than your responsibilities, more than the expectations placed on you. Morning reflection creates space for intentional living, where you choose how you step into Tuesday instead of letting the day pull you in every direction. This practice also strengthens your relationship with yourself. You begin to trust your instincts, your emotions, and your intuition. You learn to listen to the quiet whispers inside you, the ones that often get drowned out by noise and stress. By honoring these whispers, you give yourself the chance to walk into Tuesday with greater clarity and confidence. You become more present, more aware, and more willing to embrace whatever the day brings. Highlighting the power of simple morning prayer means exploring how something so quiet, so gentle, and so personal can transform the way you step into your Tuesday. When you wake up and choose to begin with prayer, you are not performing a ritual for appearances or following a routine out of habit. You are creating a sacred pause before the world asks anything from you. In this pause, prayer becomes a grounding force, a moment of alignment between your heartbeat and your purpose. It's the moment when you acknowledge that before you face people, tasks, noise, and expectations, you need a conversation with the one who understands you more deeply than anyone else ever could. Simple morning prayer doesn't require you to be perfect. You don't need poetic words, deep spirituality, or flawless focus. You only need willingness. The willingness to open your heart, to whisper your worries, and to breathe out the heaviness you've carried. This type of prayer is honest and pure. It doesn't hide the tiredness in your bones or the uncertainty in your mind. Instead, it brings all of that into the light and asks for clarity, strength, and calm. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're simply showing up as you are. And that honesty is what gives the prayer its power. One of the reasons morning prayer becomes so transformative is because it sets the emotional tone for your entire day. Life can feel chaotic, unpredictable, and overwhelming. Before you even step out of your room, messages, responsibilities, and expectations can start pressing on you. But when you take those first moments for simple prayer, you create a shield of calm around your heart. You connect with a source of strength that doesn't depend on circumstances. You remind yourself that you don't have to face the day alone. That connection reshapes the way you respond to challenges, because you've already rooted yourself in peace before anything can shake you. Morning prayer is also a form of gratitude, even when you don't explicitly list your blessings. Just the act of waking up and turning your attention to something greater than your stress becomes an expression of appreciation. Gratitude doesn't always need grand gestures. Sometimes it simply appears in the quiet recognition that you are alive, breathing, gifted with another day. And gratitude has a way of shifting your mindset. It softens the edges of worry and turns your attention toward what is good, present, and possible. Even on difficult Tuesdays, prayer helps you find something worth holding on to with hope. Another powerful aspect of simple morning prayer is clarity. The mind is often noisy when you wake up. Thoughts about yesterday, fears about tomorrow, and pressure from today all collide in your mind's first few minutes. But when you begin with prayer, it's like clearing a fogged window. The noise doesn't control you anymore. You can see what truly matters. You can understand what deserves your energy and what you can release. Prayer gives you perspective, helping you sort through emotions and responsibilities with a calm spirit instead of panic or confusion. That clarity becomes your inner compass throughout the day. There's also something deeply comforting about knowing that prayer creates a sense of companionship. Even when you feel alone, misunderstood, or burdened, prayer reminds you that you are supported in ways you cannot always see. It brings a sense of warmth, as though someone is sitting beside you, listening carefully, holding your fears and whispering reassurance. This companionship builds courage. It helps you walk into Tuesday with a lifted chin and a steady heart, not because the day will be easy, but because you have already anchored yourself spiritually before leaving your room. Simple morning prayer also strengthens emotional resilience. Life doesn't guarantee smooth days, but prayer gives you the ability to face whatever comes with a calmer mind. It reminds you that every challenge has a purpose, every delay has a lesson, and every moment of confusion will eventually settle. Prayer doesn't just help you survive the day, it helps you navigate it with dignity, patience, and grace. It reminds you that your reactions matter as much as your circumstances. And that strength grows quietly in the moments when you choose peace over panic. Finally, this kind of prayer creates an intimate dialogue between your heart and the divine. It becomes a safe space where you can cry, hope, confess, dream, or simply breathe. You don't need to explain yourself because you are already understood. You don't need to hide your fears because they are already known. You don't need to pretend to be strong because strength is given to you through the connection you create. This is the power of simple morning prayer. It elevates your spirit, aligns your emotions, and equips you to step into Tuesday with an unshakable sense of inner calm, embracing real-life challenges. In the context of beginning your Tuesday with prayer means acknowledging that life is not always gentle, predictable, or easy. It means recognizing that every person wakes up carrying something, stress that lingers from yesterday, uncertainty about the future, or moments of self-doubt that quietly weigh on the heart. When you allow these challenges to be part of your spiritual morning, instead of trying to hide them, prayer becomes more meaningful, more honest, and more powerful. It becomes a place where you bring not just your hopes, but also your heaviness, trusting that both can coexist in the presence of divine guidance. Each new day comes with responsibilities that stretch you, pressure that tests you, and moments where you question whether you're doing enough or becoming who you want to be. You might wake up with the memory of a difficult conversation, the echo of an unresolved problem, or the silent fear of what might go wrong. Real-life challenges don't wait for a convenient moment. They greet you as soon as you open your eyes. But when you start your Tuesday with the willingness to face them instead of avoiding them, something shifts within you. You stop battling your feelings and start understanding them, giving yourself the permission to be human rather than perfect. Prayer becomes the space where these challenges are met with gentleness instead of judgment. You don't have to pretend to be okay. You don't have to fake strength or hide your vulnerabilities. The moment you bring your struggles into your prayer, you turn them into something workable, something you can grow through rather than drown in. It becomes a conversation where you say, this is where I'm struggling. This is where I'm hurting. This is where I feel lost. And in that honesty, you open a door for guidance to enter. Challenges that felt too heavy begin to lose their power when you speak them out with sincerity. Stress often builds in the small moments, the deadlines, the expectations, the fear of failing someone you care about. But prayer helps you remember that you don't have to carry everything alone. When you admit your stress to the one who already sees your heart, the weight begins to lighten. It doesn't vanish instantly, but it becomes manageable. You no longer feel like you're drowning. You feel supported, understood, and strengthened from within. This creates a resilience that grows with every morning you choose to face the truth of your emotions rather than escape them. Uncertainty is another challenge that touches everyone's life. You may not know what the rest of the week will bring, or even how today will unfold. You may doubt your decisions, question your abilities, or feel lost in a season of waiting. Prayer becomes a grounding force in these moments. It won't always give you the answers immediately, but it will remind you that you don't need to have everything figured out to keep moving forward. It teaches you to trust the process even when the path is unclear. It builds a quiet courage within you, helping you embrace the unknown with faith rather than fear. Self-doubt often whispers louder in the mornings. You might look at yourself and wonder if you are enough, if you're capable, if you're worthy of the blessings you hope for. But when you start your Tuesday with prayer, you begin to see yourself through a gentler lens. You remember that your worth isn't measured by your mistakes or your insecurities. You are reminded that you were created with purpose, gifted with strength, and guided with love. Prayer becomes the mirror that shows you your inner resilience rather than your flaws, helping you step into the day with newfound confidence. Even emotional wounds from the past can rise up in the quiet of the morning. Memories, regrets, or unresolved pain can follow you into a new day. But instead of running from them, prayer allows you to place them somewhere safe. You hand over what hurts, trusting that healing is a process that unfolds over time. In this way, even your deepest struggles can become stepping stones toward growth and inner peace. Tuesday becomes more than just another day. It becomes part of your healing journey. The strength in acknowledging real-life challenges lies in knowing that prayer doesn't erase your problems. It transforms your relationship with them. You begin to approach your day not with fear, but with understanding. Not with pressure, but with purpose. Not with panic, but with perspective. When you blend honesty about your struggles with the spiritual grounding of morning prayer, you step into your Tuesday with a stronger sense of balance, courage, and emotional clarity. Using gentle motivational storytelling as you begin your Tuesday with prayer is about allowing inspiration to arrive in a way that feels warm, human, and reachable. Instead of speaking in dramatic speeches or using complicated spiritual language, this style of motivation mirrors the voice of someone who lives close by, someone who understands ordinary struggles and the quiet victories that happen inside the heart. It brings encouragement through soft honesty rather than force, reminding you that you don't need a perfect life or extraordinary strength to start your day with purpose. You just need a willingness to listen to the small stories your spirit tells you each morning. This kind of storytelling often begins by noticing the tiny moments that shaped you yesterday, even if they seemed insignificant. Maybe you pushed yourself to get out of bed even when you didn't feel like it. Maybe you kept going through a difficult moment without realizing how strong you were. Maybe you offered kindness to someone who needed it. Or maybe you held back tears until you were alone. Each of these moments becomes part of your story, part of the emotional landscape that you bring with you into Tuesday morning. Gentle storytelling doesn't turn these moments into exaggerated drama. Instead, it acknowledges them quietly, like pointing out flowers growing through cracks in the sidewalk. You start your prayer not from a place of perfection, but from a place of humility and truth. When you reflect on your life through this softer narrative, you begin to see your strength differently. It's not the loud kind that demands attention. It's the quiet strength that wakes up early even when you're tired, that chooses hope even when things feel uncertain, that whispers, "I can try again," instead of giving up. Gentle motivation helps you recognize this strength because it mirrors the reality of your everyday life. It doesn't pressure you to be something you're not. It encourages you to grow from exactly where you stand. Storytelling also helps you understand that spiritual growth is not a sudden transformation, but a series of small, meaningful moments that accumulate over time. You begin to appreciate the slow process of becoming the person you're meant to be. It might be the way you handled a stressful moment with more calm than usual, or the way you breathe deeply instead of reacting instantly. It might be the way you prayed last night even though your mind felt heavy. These moments are the threads that weave your story. When you bring them into your morning prayer, you begin to see how far you've already come, even if you haven't reached your destination yet. In a gentle motivational style, every challenge you faced becomes part of a larger journey rather than an isolated struggle. If yesterday was difficult, it doesn't mean you failed. It means you lived through something that taught you resilience. If someone hurt your feelings, it doesn't mean you're weak. It means you felt deeply, and feeling is part of being human. If you made mistakes, it doesn't make you unworthy. It simply adds another chapter to your story, one that will eventually teach you how to choose better next time. When you speak to yourself this way, your heart opens in a way that prepares you for meaningful prayer. This storytelling approach also encourages gratitude in a subtle but powerful way. You begin to notice blessings in places you never looked before. The morning light through your window becomes a reminder that you're being given another chance. The quiet of your room becomes an invitation to breathe and reset. The simple act of placing your feet on the floor becomes a sign that you're still here, still capable, still growing. Gratitude arrives softly without you having to force it, and that gentle awareness shapes the tone of your entire day. Another part of this motivational style is compassion, especially self-compassion. You learn to speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you care about. Instead of criticizing your failures, you acknowledge your effort. Instead of pressuring yourself to be perfect, you remind yourself that progress is enough. When you approach prayer with this compassionate tone, it becomes easier to open your heart and express your hopes honestly. You're no longer hiding behind walls of judgment or fear. You're simply telling your story the way it is, trusting that you will be guided toward what is best for you. As you weave these quiet stories into your morning, you build emotional strength that stays with you throughout the day. You begin to see yourself as someone who can grow, evolve, and rise even from difficult moments. You realize that your life doesn't need to be loud or dramatic to be meaningful. The simplicity of your experiences, your whispered prayers, your small victories, and your heartfelt reflections all come together to create a powerful sense of purpose. Gentle motivational storytelling turns your Tuesday morning into an opportunity to remember who you are becoming, and how deeply supported you are, even in the quietest moments. Inspiring the listener to step into the day with hope begins with the understanding that hope is not something loud or dramatic. It is often something quiet, steady, and deeply personal. When you start your Tuesday with a spiritual heart, you learn that hope isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about believing that even in moments of loneliness, confusion, or overwhelm, there is still guidance, still purpose, still light waiting to meet you. Hope becomes the bridge between what you are feeling right now and the better moments that are still ahead of you. It reminds you that your story is not defined by the difficulties you experience, but by the strength with which you rise to face them. On a morning when you're tired or emotionally drained, stepping into the day with hope may feel like lifting a weight that's too heavy. But that is where the power of prayer and gentle encouragement comes in. When you take even a small moment to connect spiritually, to breathe deeply, and to listen to the quiet wisdom inside you, hope begins to grow. It doesn't arrive like a lightning strike. It comes softly, like the morning light that slowly fills the room. You begin to feel that maybe today doesn't have to repeat the patterns of yesterday. Maybe something can shift. Maybe you can shift. Hope often begins with a small thought like that, and from there it spreads through the rest of your day. Inspiring hope also means reminding yourself that you are more capable than you think. You may have faced moments that left you shaken, times when you felt unprepared or unnoticed, days when you wondered if anything you were doing mattered. But every time you survived a difficult moment, you proved your resilience. Every time you got back up, even when it was hard, you proved your strength. Hope connects you to that inner resilience. It helps you remember that even if life feels uncertain, you have made it through uncertainty before. And if you did it once, you can do it again. That knowledge alone can reshape your entire Tuesday. There is also a unique comfort in believing that divine guidance walks with you into the day. This belief doesn't require loud declarations or dramatic gestures. It simply asks you to trust that you are not facing the day alone. You carry with you the presence of something greater, something that sees your struggles, understands your fears, and knows your heart. Even if no one around you truly understands what you are dealing with, prayer reminds you that you are seen and heard. That sense of companionship gives birth to hope in the most natural way. When you know you are supported, stepping into the day feels less overwhelming. Hope is strengthened when you look beyond your current feelings and focus on the possibility of growth. Every challenge you face today has the potential to teach you something valuable, Every conversation, every responsibility, every moment of silence may hold a purpose you won't recognize until later. Hope teaches you to walk forward with openness, trusting that even if the path doesn't make sense right now, it is leading you somewhere meaningful. It turns uncertainty into adventure, struggle into transformation, and waiting into preparation. When you start your Tuesday with that mindset, the day becomes less of a burden and more of an opportunity. Another part of inspiring hope is embracing the idea that you are allowed to begin again. Yesterday may not have gone the way you wanted. You may have said the wrong thing, made a mistake, or avoided something important. But a new day is an invitation to start fresh. Hope reminds you that every sunrise is a chance to reset your intentions and try again with a clearer heart. You don't need to carry yesterday's burdens into today. You can put them down, breathe, and open yourself to new possibilities. This simple belief can lift your spirit and make your steps feel lighter. Sometimes hope grows from very small acts. Making your bed, preparing your favorite breakfast, speaking kindly to yourself, sending a message to someone you care about, or taking a moment to stretch and breathe. These little actions may seem meaningless, but they create emotional momentum. They tell your heart that you are choosing to show up for yourself today. They tell your mind that you are willing to move forward, even if it's one small step at a time. Hope thrives in these small steps. Even when you feel lonely, hope assures you that your feelings are temporary and that brighter moments will return. Even when life feels overwhelming, hope reminds you that you have more inner strength than you realize. When you start your Tuesday with this kind of spiritual hope, you give yourself permission to face the day with courage, peace, and a sense of quiet anticipation for the goodness that may unfold. Ending your morning with a warm emotional uplift is about creating a gentle rise in your spirit that carries you forward into Tuesday with confidence, comfort, and quiet courage. It's the soft closing of a conversation between your heart and the divine. A moment that reminds you that even if the world feels unpredictable, you are allowed to walk into your day with steadiness. This kind of uplift doesn't come from forcing positivity or pretending that everything is perfect. Instead, it comes from acknowledging your truth, honoring your emotions, and choosing to believe that guidance is available to you every step of the way. A warm emotional uplift begins with letting yourself breathe into the moment. After reflecting, praying, and grounding your mind, there is a shift inside you, a small opening where peace begins to settle. You feel your shoulders loosen, your breath deepen, and your thoughts calm down. It's in this quiet space that reassurance begins to grow. You realize that you've been heard, that your worries have been placed somewhere safe, and that your hopes have been received with love. This realization becomes the first spark of emotional uplift. It's the feeling of being spiritually held, supported, and understood without having to explain yourself. This uplift also comes from understanding that you are allowed to trust the journey you're on, even if you don't know exactly where it's leading. Life has its challenges, but it also has moments of beauty, growth, and transformation. When you end your morning routine with a sense of emotional warmth, you remind yourself that the day ahead is not something to fear, it is something to meet with openness. You begin to feel that there is purpose behind everything, behind the timing, behind the lessons, behind the experiences that shape you. This sense of purpose strengthens your faith and invites you to step into Tuesday with a heart that is ready. Sometimes, a warm emotional uplift comes from speaking gentle affirmations to yourself, even silently. You may tell yourself that you are capable, that you are growing, that you are learning, and that you are trying. You may not feel perfect, but you feel present, and presence has its own kind of power. Instead of focusing on what might go wrong, your attention shifts to what might go right. This shift is subtle, but it changes the way you walk, the way you breathe, and the way you begin your day. It gives you the energy to face whatever comes with more hope and less fear. There is also a deep sense of comfort in knowing that you don't have to rush. A warm emotional uplift slows you down in a world that constantly tells you to hurry. It lets you savor the few moments of calm before the tasks and challenges begin. In this slow, soothing space, you remember that you are not defined by how quickly you accomplish things or how flawlessly you perform. You are defined by your sincerity, your effort, and your heart. And when you carry that truth into the day, you walk with a different kind of confidence, one rooted in self-acceptance rather than pressure. Another part of this uplifting energy comes from imagining the day unfolding in a positive direction. You may visualize yourself handling situations with grace, speaking with kindness, staying grounded in stressful moments, or noticing small blessings along the way. Visualization isn't about predicting the future. It's about preparing your spirit. It trains your heart to expect good things, to recognize opportunities, and to stay steady even when challenges arise. This gentle mental preparation becomes part of the emotional warmth you carry with you. A warm emotional uplift also reminds you that you are not alone. Even if you don't share your struggles with others, even if people around you don't fully understand your journey, you are still held by something greater. You are guided, protected, and strengthened in ways you may not always see. This invisible companionship gives you the courage to step outside your room and face the world with faith. It gives you the reassurance that whatever happens today, you will have the strength to meet it. As you feel this emotional warmth settle in, you begin to sense a quiet readiness inside you. It's not loud or dramatic, but it is steady and sincere. Your fears lose some of their power. Your doubts soften. Your hope rises gently like a flame being guarded from the wind. And with that rising hope comes a sense of peace. You may not have answers to everything, but you have enough strength for today. You have enough guidance for the next step. You have enough clarity to move forward. Ending your morning routine with this warmth gives you the emotional foundation you need to walk into Tuesday with confidence, grace, and trust. You face the day not because everything is certain, but because you have centered your heart and aligned your spirit. This is the essence of a warm emotional uplift. It prepares your inner world so you can meet the outer world with calm, faith, and quiet strength. As this Tuesday unfolds, let it be the reminder that every new morning carries its own quiet miracles. You began today by grounding your heart in prayer. By choosing peace over pressure and connection over chaos, you allowed yourself to breathe, to reflect, to realign with the guidance that has been walking beside you all along. And now, as you step into the rest of your day, carry that calm with you. Let it shape your thoughts, steady your emotions, and strengthen your decisions. Whatever challenges come your way, remember that you have already anchored yourself in something deeper than fear and stronger than doubt. You are moving forward not alone, but supported, uplifted, and held by a purpose greater than anything that tries to pull you down. So go into this Tuesday with confidence. Go with faith. Go with the belief that the light you welcomed into your morning will stay with you through every moment ahead. You deserve clarity, peace, and growth, and today is another step toward all three. Good luck on your journey today. May your heart stay calm, may your spirit stay strong, and may your path unfold with grace. Thank you for giving me the honor of speaking to your morning, and thank you for letting these words become part of your day.